Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, where we break down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. I'm Cameron Main.
And I'm Alex Berger. Today we're talking about a group of lawmakers meeting today at Bradley to talk about bipartisanship. Then, with the last penny being minted today, we learn the history of the coin.
And that won't be our last story, because we're learning about a fun Christmas completion going on in Washington.
Yes, well, our first big local story of the day, Bradley University hosting 3 former politicians known for their bipartisanship. Cameron, you're in the hot seat for this one.
Oh, yeah, I am.
To go over what the lawmakers said on the current political state. So what was this event about?
So basically, there's the Everett Dirksen Congressional Center thing. It's a nonpartisan, non-profit group that works over in Pekin, if you've ever been there before. And they're
I live next to Pekin.
But you grew up in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But not from Pekin, from
Right.
Tremont. Tremont.
Yes.
The names, they get me. Anyway,
y'all.
so actually what we're talking about is Ray LaHood, you know that guy, Cheri Bustos, and Bob. He's a
Bob, what?
he's like he's a Chicago former Republican from like the Illinois 10th district, so like the Chicago suburbs area. They all talked about, and they were all lawmakers. You know, Ray LaHood was someone that was a Republican congressman, then worked for a Democratic administration under Obama as the transportation secretary.
Yeah.
We had Cheri Bustos, who was a Democrat, but really oversaw what was at the time more of a Trumpy district. And so, and then Bob, I forget his last name.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
So that's why
I was like,
I
is
think
this
it's
like
Bob Darrell,
It's
but
like
I'm
a
not.
Beyonce situation.
But
or
he
like
was
Cher?
he was a Republican that was very bipartisan, and basically they're talking about, and this was only 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, these guys were in office, and they were basically saying, well, we need to talk about how to get bipartisanship back into the conversation.
Yeah, and it's so relative now. I mean, that's just something that's, you know, very relevant at this point. So what did they say? Obviously, we had the government shutdown, longest government shutdown the U.S. has ever seen, 43 days.
Yeah.
What did they say about that?
Well, there was a lot of, you know, Cheri Bustos, she was a Democrat during the first Trump shutdown. During that time, what happened in D.C. during those 20 or odd so days that they were in D.C., all Congress people stayed in D.C., which is very different from what we had this time, where the House wasn't even in session for 5 weeks. The doors were completely closed. And people came back and forth, but no one was really there discussing it. And Sorensen just recently said in an interview with us that they didn't even have negotiations about this before the shutdown even happened.
Oh, wow.
So it's completely different compared to what Cheri Bustos said. And it was like, we were there the whole time and we were negotiating. We were trying to figure out how to meet middle way, how to get the government open. And Ray LaHood had a really great comment and was like, you know, I think it was Bob that actually said it. I want to be careful on that. Bob said that the best policies come from bipartisanship.
Yeah.
If you're able to get Democrats, or if you're a Democrat and you can get a Republican to sign on to your legislation, it's usually a really good sign that you have a really bipartisan piece of legislation.
Yeah, and so obviously with them holding bipartisanship so close to their heart, what kind of advice do they have for current lawmakers about bipartisanship?
Well, they said, hey, put people above your politics, make sure you're representing the best interests of the people in your district. And they also said that it's okay, and you know, obviously it gets very heated. There's, as Ray LaHood said, there's always a controversy going on in Washington. But you can always make that time to go to the other side of the aisle, have those conversations and loop them in things that maybe you're not thinking about looping them in for, especially if you're the majority party. And that goes both ways, because Democrats have been massive majority leaders or have had a slight majority. Republicans have had a massive majority, and now they could have something like this where they have a slight majority in the House. It moves back and forth. And so it's more of the focus of, hey, how can we meet in the middle and make sure that the best policies come from a bipartisan group?
What an interesting thing. He is so smart. That was just all off the cuff.
It's the people that I talk to that are very smart. But I'm actually comparatively stupid compared to them.
Come on now. Oh, well, you know what? Officers in Utah responded to a call like a suspect on the run with 4 legs, a snout, and a surprisingly good set of wheels.
Oh, okay, that's right. A wild pig decided to take a joy run through Albuquerque traffic, dodging cars and officers. After a brief fun-foot pursuit, the team managed to safely detain the Porky perpetrator. Now, this is crazy.
Porky perpetrator. I mean, that's...
Look at him run.
He's going.
He's going. And you know, I like this because especially so many animals, they end up their way on the interstate. And it's really sad when you drive past and there's like a raccoon or a possum. And it's like, oh, poor thing. I swear I saw a bobcat in Morton.
Yeah, you might have.
Yeah.
You might have.
I was going down like Muller Road and I was just driving, and then, you know, I was just putting you in the scene, you know, and then I see my lights and, you know, this cat had the red lights. And then it's like, I'm trying to tell the story.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay.
You're doing great.
And then I see the cat and I go, ooh, I'll slow down a little bit. And then I saw it, I was like, oh boy, those are some chunky shoulders on that lad. So I was like, that was not like your average orange kitty. That looked like a bobcat.
Oh, there's some chunky shoulders on that lad. Oh my gosh, it's almost time to bring out Steuben Berwin.
Steuben Berwin is close.
He would have approached the Brown.
Yeah, he would have approached that.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for that, Karen. When we come back on Beyond the Headlines, we've got Austin talking about the history of the penny as the last one was minted today. We'll be right back.
Another big local story of the day. The last ever penny was minted today in Philadelphia. The penny is over 200 years old, which is, it's funny, but it's sad. It's WMBD's, you go.
WMBD's Austin Feeman joins us now from the Twin Cities newsroom to give us a little history about the penny. So Austin, what is the history behind the 1 cent coin?
Yeah, thank you, Alex and Cameron. So basically, the penny is it's 116 years old, and today marks its final days of being pressed or minted. But before it was officially, our modern day penny was officially born, the penny had a silhouette of an indigenous person's face on it. This was before 1909, which is when the modern day penny was beginning to be pressed with Lincoln's face on it. Now, 1909 is the centennial of Lincoln's birth, which brought President Roosevelt to put Lincoln on the penny. Now, he was the original person who wanted to make this happen, but the next president after that really set it in stone and made it happen. You know, Roosevelt believed that Lincoln represented democracy of that time. He represented all the good things of democracy, and he also was very interested about what Lincoln stood for in terms of his presidency. And yeah, so in 1909, Lincoln was officially put onto the 1 cent coin, and ever since then, the penny has had Lincoln's face on it, and unfortunately today is the last day we will ever see Lincoln be pressed onto a new penny.
That's really disappointing because that was like one of the only Illinois leaders that we had being represented by the coins, and now I think we have no one. But what happens with the penny now? Can I still use it?
Yeah, so with the penny now, there's obviously not very many uses for it now. Many businesses and stuff will begin to round up to the nearest nickel in the next few years as a penny phases out of the economy. But, you know, pennies, I don't know if you've ever heard of the penny presses at museums and whatnot. Really, at the top of my head, that's really the only thing I can think of that pennies would be used for other than collecting. I know the McLean County Museum of History, the staff there, they call themselves some Lincoln fanatics, and they are definitely not, they're upset with the penny not being pressed anymore. It was a historical moment in history when Lincoln's face began to be pressed onto the penny, and you know, Lincoln's from Illinois, so it was definitely something that was a little bittersweet. But hopefully, pennies, you know, who knows? If we keep collecting pennies, they could be worth way more than 1 cent here in a few years after they stop being pressed. So if you see a penny on the floor, it might be worth it to pick it up and stash it in your back pocket for later.
Austin, I got one more question for you. Did you get me any pressed pennies from the museum today?
You know, I was thinking about getting some pressed pennies, but you know, I unfortunately didn't have the quarters that you need to make the pressed pennies. You
Wow,
need,
that
50
is
cents and a penny,
crazy,
51
Trey.
cents total to press a penny at the museum. And I believe that's a universal thing. I think all penny presses, unfortunately, you need 51 cents in order to get that pressed penny.
That is
It's okay.
crazy.
Well, Austin, thank you anyway, and thank you for joining us on Beyond the Headlines. Well, this is actually your text.
Yeah, you could have gone straight for it. I wouldn't
could've.
mind. But a certain room is trending for home buyers and sellers. Zoom rooms are becoming a popular feature for homes on the market. A report from Realtors.com found that 50% more listings now mention Zoom in the description, with a selling point of $514,000. A Zoom room is similar to a home office, except it's dedicated to making video calls. Zoom rooms are even higher demand than custom built-in pickleball courts.
That's
That's
kind of easy to beat.
Yeah, that's
Also, with Zoom rooms, hey, have we heard of a home office?
yeah. Have you heard it? See, all you got to do is just put like all your degrees in the background, and then if you don't have one, just get the frames from like Walmart and just have like no one's gonna zoom in on that tech.
Lauren Ipsum.
Yeah, you could have like 10 of those frames in the background, and people trust that. Imagine that you're like filming in as like an expert on a show, and they're like, "Wow, this guy, he must be smart." But then you got to have a bookshelf in
Yeah.
the background, and it has to be like Monte Cristo, Of Mice and Men,
Yep.
Lord of the Rings, Art of War.
Oh, dude, The Art of War, yeah.
That has to be on there.
War
It
and
has to
Peace.
be all these classics.
Yeah.
You know, just basically.
You have to put little like knickknacks that you like.
yeah,
You gotta put like a
yeah.
random pop figure up there. or
Maybe
something.
like a head of Aristotle. Like, one of those like Greek busts.
a head of Aristotle, but it's actually Bowser.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you
Something
should
fun.
say it's like Aristotle, but it's actually Plato.
Hey,
I
why
feel-
would you put Plato on there?
Well, because that's the joke. You say, "Oh, it's Aristotle," and then someone goes, "No, that's Plato," and you go, "No, I would know what Aristotle looks like."
Plato? Why would you put Plato on a?
Plato. He's a Greek philosopher.
Wait, Plato.
The Greek philosopher. Yeah,
Plato.
Yeah, Plato.
I think I would know something. I know Plato, guys. I just like to tease him. Yeah.
All right, we've got one more local story for you when we return on Beyond the Headlines. We've got Alex Berger in the hot seat next,
Who?
talking about a fun Christmas contest in Washington.
Yep.
Welcome back. Another big local story of the day. A festive and decorative contest is making its way around Washington, all thanks to donations. Alex Berger sits in the hot seat right now to go over how the competition came about and what you can do to help. So yeah, what's this about?
Yeah. So this is called the Whitmas Challenge. It is
Okay.
a play on the classic holiday Christmas. You heard of this? Christmas?
Yeah. We have it in Australia.
So basically, WHIP is Washington Helps Its People. It is a long-standing food pantry in the city of Washington.
Okay.
It is one of the main ones, and basically, this was started by Dennis Carr, who is the city engineer. He's also the interim city administrator for Washington. Basically, he said, well, we do our yearly can drive in the truck or whatever. We fill up the cans in the truck, and then we take it to the food bank. How can we spice that up? How can we make that more fun? And basically what he came up with, somebody told him and goes, what about a Whitmas tree? And he goes, that's a great idea. And so they create a Christmas tree out of cans
Oh,
and
okay.
lights and tinsel, and they got a little gonk on top.
Wow, okay, so different foods and all
Exactly.
that in the trees,
Mac
is
and
that
cheese,
correct?
Pop-Tarts, yeah.
So how does this benefit the community then?
Yeah, so the benefit to the community, is basically, so since the city are in the challenge, the public works are in the challenge, the police department, basically they stack as many cans as they can. Yeah. And then the public also donates. So they have people that are bringing stuff in to the police department as well to like be a part of the witness tree. And then once it's all finished, as soon as they can, probably a week from now, if that, they will collect them all and give them to WHIP, Washington Helps Its People. So it's going to go right to the tables of people who need it during the Thanksgiving season,
Right.
during the Christmas season. Obviously, food insecurity is a very pertinent topic right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
As the government reopens, so they're going to give cans, a lot of it, and boxes of food to the local food pantry, and then people are going to be able to have a meal on a holiday.
Oh, so is this something that people can still be a part of?
Yes, this is something that they're also calling on the community for. They wanted to mainly get businesses involved, so businesses around Washington, but it's just, they wanted it to be similar to the Ice Bucket Challenge. Remember that?
Oh,
the
yeah.
ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. They wanted it to be like that because they know that Facebook can create traction and it can really, it can really do something. So they wanted to do that, and this is just a way to feed people and help out the community.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, thank you so much, Alex, for
Of
breaking
course,
that
Cameron,
down.
always.
Well, check this out, all right? Imagine this. You've been in a relationship with someone for a while now.
LOL.
Things are solid, but you notice a shift in your partner's demeanor, a slight change in their tone of voice.
What?
You can't put your finger on it, and then it happens. The kiss on your forehead. The girlies of TikTok claim this is a red flag. They say if your significant other chooses the forehead over the lips, it's game over. Relationship experts say don't jump to any conclusions. Sometimes a kiss on the forehead is just a kiss on the forehead. That forehead, excuse me. They add if there's something wrong, you already know. Doesn't take a kiss on the forehead to tell you that. How interesting.
That is interesting.
Let me kiss you on the forehead. Do you get any red flags? Well, I think I kiss my now fiance on the forehead and the lips. It's just an important part of the relationship.
It is.
You know?
And when you kiss her on the forehead, she goes, okay. All right. That's a little.
But how do you heal a headache without a forehead kiss? That's
Exactly.
literally.
Ladies, no. Ladies, he's taken.
I'm very taken with this man.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You ain't wrong. I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Cameron? Do you think that's a red flag?
No, I do not think so.
I also
and
don't
that's
think
all
so.
we have for today's Beyond the Headlines.
You can find all this wonderful content and all of these stories more on our website, ciproud.com.
Yeah, you can.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.